I'm JC, and this is Dad Bod with JC. And I'm starting this up. I want to do this every day. I took a little bit of a vacation there, and now I'm back. Luckily, through my vacation, I was doing other things like going out bike riding, that sort of thing. And I continued to lose a little bit of weight. So, so overall, I'm about 10% into how much weight I basically I wanted to lose about 100 pounds, so I'm about 10 pounds into it. Um, and I've been taking some measurements. Well, let me start stretching while I talk. Double arm chest. Let me see. There's a double arm stretch for the chest. Okay, it's just a double arm stretch. I just open this up. So I start here and I open it up, and I hold for 12. So while I'm holding out here and opening up my chest, I'll talk a little bit more about what I've done. So yeah, I stayed active while I was vacationing, or going for a run or bike or something like that. And I've been eating a lot of protein. At this point, from where I was before I started all this, I'm eating like 4 or 5 times the amount of protein I was eating before. Apparently, I was just under eating protein before. I think that was my biggest problem after, this is the first time I've really done a huge thing where I like, oh, I'm going to eat well and exercise. In the past, I've done things like, oh, I'll eat more vegetables, or I'll eat this, I'll do that. But I looked into it. I looked at social media and saw what other people were doing to lose weight and whatnot. And I was like, well, I wasn't doing any of that. So this is working for me, just like it did for dozens and dozens and dozens of other people I've seen on social media. So lots of protein, lots of exercise, cut down on the fat, cut down on the carbs a bit, and yeah, it's the weight's coming off a little bit. I've lost three little. I have a belt that I was using, to keep up my pants, and I'm 3 notches down on that belt. So, so that's a good thing. Um, I'm actually gonna have to get a new belt. Like, if I lose a quarter, and I've been losing about a quarter inch steadily for this last. I've been doing this for like 4 or 5 months now. So at a quarter inch a week ish. So I think after another 6 months, let's say somewhere around February, I'm gonna need to buy a new belt if I continue losing weight like I have been. I might plateau a little bit. I wouldn't be too surprised if I plateau some, but I'm gonna keep at it. So sometime around February, I might be. Ooh, I've stretched for a while. That was much more longer than 12. So I'll shake it out and do another 12. So sometime around February, I'll see if I need a new belt because I'm gonna run out of those little loops, the little holes to put the belt uh, little buckle thing through. So I'm opening up my chest here, holding for 12. Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it. I did measurements this morning. I've lost 2.3. I've automated the little math needed to see how many gallons of fat I've lost. I've lost 2.2. I want to say 2.2 or 2.3 gallons of fat just from my core, just from like here to here. So okay, so that's it for the second set of the double arm stretch for the chest. I got one more coming up. I gotta loosen up my arms here. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. I've lost some. I still got more I want to lose from this core area, but in general, on average, it said I lost 3 inches from up here to down here. 3 inches. Yeah, that's the average. So here we go. One more set of this double arm stretch for the chest. So for this, I start with my hands kind of clapping in front of me, basically, and then spreading it open, opening up the chest, and holding for 12 count. But instead of counting, I'll keep talking. So yeah. My breakfast is, I wouldn't say it's boring. It's fairly routine. It's like 2 eggs, 2 little turkey sausage patties, just a really light sprinkle of cheese. I do like the taste of cheese. A very light sprinkle of cheese. Today it was an avocado. Some days I put tomato in there, and usually a little bit of a salsa, like a medium. I like the medium salsa. I hover between a mild and a medium salsa, and yeah, and on a couple tortillas. So one egg and one sausage patty per tortilla, and the sausage patty, of course, I chop up into little bits, almost like a crumble. Okay, that's enough of the double arm stretch. Boy, I really need a double arm stretch. Today is a chest and arm exercise day, so I'm going to be doing some chest and arm work. I'm going to go a little light today since I've been out. I haven't done this in 3 weeks, so I'm going to use my I guess my 1 pound weights, 1 and 3 pound weights for most of this. I want to work my way back into it. Anyways, I'll keep talking. Double arm chest with arms around the back. So it'll be the same thing I was just doing here, except my hands are going to be locked behind my back. I'm going to just sprout up my chest here and hold for 12 like a 12 count. But instead of counting, I'll keep talking. So I got to stretch out the chest. All right, so the chest is stretching. And now I'll talk. So yeah, my breakfasts are fairly routine like that. On the weekends, I change it up a little bit, not a ton. I will change it up a little bit just to break up the monotony. But on the weekdays, boy, that breakfast does me right. It's quite a lot of food, like an egg, a sausage patty, a tortilla, half an avocado in each one of those, and some salsa. A decent portion of salsa, actually. Very tasty. I'll throw pepper in. I don't throw salt in there, but I do throw pepper in there. I'm trying to avoid the salts. There's already natural salts in a lot of these things. Like the turkey sausage has plenty of sodium in it, I believe. I have to look at the packaging now that I come to think of it. Let's see. Okay, so I'll let go. That should be 12. I got 2 more sets of the double arm stretch chest with the arms behind the back. Getting back in that stretching position, putting my hands behind my back, puffing my chest out, stretching my shoulders out with my hands behind my back, and I'm going to hold for 12. I'm going to talk while I'm holding. Let's see, what else? For the proteins, I'm eating a ton of protein. I used to have a really hard time eating protein. I didn't like the taste of it. I guess I didn't put enough seasonings. It's about finding the seasonings you like. I was doing these bland chicken tender things and I hated it, and it was really hard to choke down the protein. And I ended up going and buying pre-sauteed or pre-seasoned chicken breasts. They were pre-seasoned with lemon pepper. And I gave it a try, and it was tasty. It was super tasty. It was absolutely fantastically tasty. And I was like, well, I should stick with this because, like, I don't hate it. Like with the chicken tenders, I was kind of hating it. When it came time to eat the chicken tenders, I was like, oh, this is nasty. It's like chicken tenders again. But with the lemon pepper chicken that is pre-sauteed at the grocery store, I don't quite feel that way. Okay, I'm releasing this behind the back stretch. I'm going to shake it out and do one more round. So I'll continue on the talk here in a second after I stretch out my arms. All right, here we go. 2 hands behind the back. They're holding behind the back. Puff the chest out and stretch out those shoulders. Pull them towards the back to open up the chest a bit. Hold it for 12 seconds or 12 count or whatever. But instead of counting, I'll keep talking. So yeah, I was hating the bland chicken tenders. I might throw it in every now and again, the chicken tenders into the rotation. But I might not, because the lemon pepper chicken, I can just do a whole batch on a Monday, and it'll last me all the way through the Friday. I just, throw what I don't need, I'm not going to eat into the fridge, and that'll be a good lunch or dinner for a full week. And I had been doing these like round roasts for like dinner or whatever. So what I was doing is like turkey sausage for breakfast for the protein, like a chicken or steak for lunch, and a chicken or steak for dinner. So basically turkey, chicken, steak, or turkey, steak, chicken, just to vary my meals a little bit. And that was working for me because it was really hard going at the beginning to eat down all that protein. Okay, I'm going to release my stretch. It was really hard to scarf down all that protein because I wasn't used to it. B, it didn't taste good. I just wasn't fixing it right. But with the chicken, the way that chicken works, um, with a pre sautéed or pre whatever prepared chicken with a lemon pepper on it, it works wonders for me. So I'll buy a big package of the lemon pepper chicken. I'll go through that in 3 or 4 days, and then I'll cook up a package of. I was doing round roasts, and I ran into some issues there. I'll talk about it in a second. Let me start up with my next stretch. Above the head chest stretch, starting position. Place hands behind head, bending elbows, interlocking fingers, gently squeeze shoulder blades, and push elbows backwards. Okay, so I'm going to hold these stretch for 30 seconds. I'm going to do 2 sets of this. So I'm just holding my fingers, interlocking my fingers behind my head, and stretching my elbows wide open and opening up my chest that way for 30 seconds. So instead of counting, I'll just talk. So I had been cooking these round roasts, and or like just these roasts. What do you call it? Is it like shoulder roast or whatever? Is beef, and I've been caking it in Old Bay sauce. I love Old Bay sauce. It's a great seasoning, and I ran into an issue where I was just having too much Old Bay. Apparently, Old Bay is mostly celery salt. And the celery salt was acting like a blood thinner for me, and I was bleeding. I was getting these little cuts, and it kept bleeding, and I had all sorts of bleeding problems. And it was from the Old Bay. The moment I realized all this bleeding had to do with my stupid eating habits and the fact that I didn't know how to season with anything other than Old Bay, and I was using Old Bay for everything, I just stopped cold turkey. It's like, I'm going to have to stop with Old Bay. I mean, bleeding is no good. And then the bleeding stopped. I stopped the Old Bay, and about 2-3 days later, the bleeding stopped, and that was a good thing. But I mean, that's because I was eating Old Bay with pretty much every meal. That was a month or 2 ago, and then so I hadn't really touched the Old Bay in about a month, let's say, and so. I think I can do I can eat Old Bay, not as much as I was before with the round roast, because I really cake those round roasts in Old Bay. This time I'm making Milanesa instead of the round roast. It's a thin steak cut, and I'm making a decent sized batch that'll last me 2 or 3 days, and I'm cooking that with Old Bay. If I do that once every other week, once every third week, I don't see myself falling into the old. I'm thinning my blood out. I mean, Old Bay is thinning my blood out thing. So that's where I'm going with that. I'm talking about my Old Bay thing. Anyways, okay, one more above the head chest stretch. All right, here we go. Shaking out, and fingers interlock, elbows pushing out back, and here we go. So yeah, I'm replacing the Old Bay. Well, I'm replacing the round roasts with a thin cut steak. It actually cooks pretty quickly. It's like a minute on each side, and then for however many little slabs. This last time I bought 3 slabs of meat. I think I'm gonna buy 4 or 5 next time, and it'll just go into my rotation of like different meats I cook. It is so. I finally found a bunch of meats that will cook, and at one point I will also throw in eggplant into my rotation. I'm not a huge fan of eggplant, but like they make these eggplant steaks that you can put in the freezer, and I'm not a huge fan of it, but I can like it enough to throw it into the rotation. I only get like 2 or 3 meals out of a big box that I put in the freezer. But there's enough protein in that justifies buying it. Okay, I think that's the 30 seconds on that. So Next one is the doorway chest stretch for the chest. Again, it's going to be 30 seconds. I have a doorway here. The laundry is actually running, so it might be a little noisy, but sounds like a dryer. But I need the doorway to stretch. All right, so the doorway stretch, you stand at 6 inches in front of the doorway, and you put your hands up on the doorway, and then you kind of, I'm going to press my chest out and hold that for about 30 seconds. So I'm going to continue obsessing about my protein intake for 30 more seconds. So I have a rotation of lemon pepper chicken, Milanesa steak, sometimes caked in Old Bay, sometimes I'll use different seasonings, and then an eggplant. I think that's a good rotation. And each rotation, every time I go to one or the other, it's good for like 3 or 5 meals. So I can intermingle them. I think I'm going to have to add 1 or 2 more protein sources in there. Another protein source I've been using is, I got to press my chest a little bit more. I'm not getting enough stretch. Another protein source I've been using is edamame, dry roasted salted edamame, and I love that because it's essentially soybeans, and there's a ton of protein in it, not a whole lot of fat and not a whole lot of carbs either. Okay, I'm gonna relax here, stretch it out. Okay, so that protein comes with a price. Apparently in soybeans there's estrogen, and the estrogen in there, like this is something I just read on the internet, and it freaked me out a little bit. And the estrogen makes you constipated, and there's some other problem. I forget what the other problem is. So A, I'm getting estrogen, and B, I'm getting some constipation or whatever. And I was like, okay. I'm not sure I'm 100% down with this, but okay, I'm going to go back to the doorway stretch. Second set, 30 seconds. So I'm 6 inches in front of the doorway, putting my hands up on the doorway and pressing forward. I'm kind of leaning forward, but my body weight is doing the stretch for me, or stretching my chest for me. And so the soybean, I backed off a little bit. I was eating a lot of it. Now I've backed off a little bit of it because it's estrogen and it constipates. So like, I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. I'm still gonna throw it in the mix of things I eat, but I'm not as gung ho about it as I used to be. Let's see, other protein sources that I've looked at. I want to talk about protein today, apparently. Other protein sources I've looked at. Yeah, there's milk. There's a little bit of protein in milk, and because of the edamame possibly causing constipation, I've thrown in into the rotation one meal, let's say 1 or 2 meals a week, oatmeal. It's not for breakfast. I don't eat it for breakfast. It doesn't suit me for breakfast, but for dinner it seems to suit me. Oatmeal seems to suit me fine with milk and the oatmeal and a little splash of sugar. Of pure cane sugar. That should be enough for the stretching. That sounded about 30 seconds. Boy, that seemed to stretch my back more than it did my chest, but I did feel it in my chest. So yeah. I'm done with the stretching. Next up is the weights. Like I said, I've been on vacation a bit, so I'm gonna go light on the weights. So next up is the dumbbell chest press. So for the dumbbell chest press, I need a heavy weight for that. I'm going to go light today. So I'm just going to use the 5-pound weights. I could probably do whatever I have here. I have a 10-pound weight, but I'll just stick to the 5-pound weights. I want this to be nice and light. I've been having some issues. I played a ton of tennis, and I've been having some issues with this shoulder, my tennis shoulder. Now, I used to have issues with my non-dominant shoulder, but this time it's my tennis shoulder because I played a ton of tennis, and and it tightened up on me. The muscles are tight because I hit the ball so much over the vacation. But okay, so it's a dumbbell chest press. There's 4 sets of 8 reps each. So this is already feeling a little light. I might go higher. My next higher weight here is 10 pounds. I might go to the 10 pounds, but I'll probably stay with the 5 pounds. It's so light, I'm probably just going to do a superset, so that's 32. I'll count up to 16 and count down from 16. I'll count up to 16 and count down from 16. Now, I'll just count up to 8. I'll do 2 supersets. One to 8. I'll count up to 8, and then from 8 back down to 1. I'll give myself a little break, and then so just 2 supersets instead of 4 for little sets, because I'm going very light today. So the protein thing is really working out. Everything's pushing in the right direction. I'm surprised how well it's working. I'm super surprised how well it's working. I did not think it would be that easy to do this stuff. I thought it was going to be more of a struggle to lose weight and stuff, but oh, thanks for following on TikTok. It's the one you might want to follow is on YouTube. It's dadbodwithjc on YouTube. Hopefully that comes up if you search for it, because that's all my previous little workouts are on there. I think there's 60 of them right now, so this is number 61. My TikTok only has my dogs. At this point, it only has my dogs, and it's like, they're good dogs. I love my dogs. But what was I talking about? The protein. Yeah. Here, let me just do my supersets, and I'll go back and talk more about the protein. All right, here we go. Counting up to 8 and down from 8. So 1, this is a chest press, dumbbell chest press. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So the real key for me has been to eat more protein, and I never in my life thought I would be eating this much protein. I'd never eaten that much protein. It's like it's nonstop protein. It's like it's all encompassing, but if it wasn't for that protein, I don't think I'd be doing well. I'd like in the past, I've tried to lose weight before with just eating more vegetables and exercise. I even trained for a triathlon, for God's sakes. I did lose weight while I was training for the triathlon, but then everything started to hurt. The joints started to hurt, and all this stuff started to hurt, and it was like, this hurts. And it takes a ton of time, too, because like if you do the triathlon training thing I was doing for beginners, was like you got to do 75 minutes of running and like an hour and a half of bicycling and all this stuff, and like, I can do it. I can do it, but I mean, I also have a life. Triathloning is not for the faint of heart. So for the moment, I did lose weight, but the moment I let the triathloning go, weight came back on. At this point, I think I could do the triathloning, but I'd have so much protein coming into me. I'll save the triathloning for another time. At this point, I got another superset to go. Here we go. So going up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Counting down from 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that was a superset of the chest press. I went light this time because I'm coming off a vacation. Next time next time I go through this little circuit I'll definitely go high, with a higher weight. Next exercise is 10 reps, 4 sets each of the dumbbell bicep curls. So for that, I'll stand up. I'm also going to go light on those. Yeah, there's no sense. I mean, I'm doing this to play tennis, and like the tennis racket does not weigh 5 pounds. So I have like 10 pounds in here. You know, 5 here and 5 here. And as hard as you hit a tennis racket, at the moment of impact, it's way more than 5 or 10 pounds. But swinging it around, it's a lot lighter than one of these guys, and that's what I'm training for here, or at least I'm trying to. Dumbbell bicep curls. So here we go. Bicep curl. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Was that a bicep curl? It's like a hammer thing. I think my hammer curls are next, so I think I'll count that as the first set of my bicep curls. But I think the bicep curls are a little different, so I'll just keep going. 10. There you go. 9, 8. See, I'm kind of new at this. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can feel it too. I can feel it all through here, and my shoulder's a little tight from all the tennis. But all right, so loosening up, and again. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, relaxing just a little bit. One more set of bicep curls. And here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, that's it for the bicep curls. Next up is the hammer curls. Dumbbells are up and down. So the main difference is the bicep curls the dumbbells are left and right, and the hammer curls, the dumbbells are up and down. I kind of like this weight because it's really letting me feel out what's wrong with some of my muscles. They're tight over here, so I'm glad I went light. I've always had trouble with this arm, but today with all the tennis I played, it's on this side. I got to stretch it out or something. Anyways, hammer curls. 10 coming up here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing a little bit, stretching out the shoulder, and 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was 2 sets, 2 more sets to go. Yeah, I don't know when the tennis stream is going to be. It's more challenging to do the tennis stream. I thought of it, and it's like, what if I put like the little camera up on the corner of the tennis court? But see, when you play tennis, you have to switch sides every 2 games, every other game or something like that. And then so I'd have to take my camera with me, and then I don't know. Then you get to get the camera angle, and the camera's always up my butt. I'm not sure if I like that. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure about the tennis stream. I might do it someday, but this is more universal. Everyone, there's a lot of people that want to lose weight, and there's not a whole lot of people there's not as many, I should say, that play or enjoy tennis. Besides, there's a lot of tennis on TV anyways, if you look for it. 2 more sets of the hammer curls. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, gotta stretch out the shoulder a little bit more. It's just a little tightness. It's not like it hurts or anything. It's just a little tight over here on the shoulder. Oh my goodness. I gotta figure out how to stretch that. All right, 10 more. Last set of hammer curls. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, I'm done with the hammer curls. So I'm really looking forward to February maybe when I need a new belt because the old belt will just be too big. That would be kind of a mind-blowing experience for me. I'm gonna have to do a lot of things. I have to buy a bunch of new clothes too. As it stands, like I said, I went 3 little notches on the belt. I'm 3 notches down from where I was back when I started this in March, and this is and so all these pants are just falling down. If I don't use a belt, they just fall down. Reverse grip row with a wristwatch facing the floor. So the wristwatch is facing the floor like this. I'm gonna go light today, 1 pound weights. Both arms at the same time. 12 reps, 3 sets. So for this, I bend the knees down a little bit. I bring my back over a little bit, and I row. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. It's a good core workout too. It's really punching my core. That's 12. Take a little break. I'm gonna try to stretch out this. I think I almost got it. I've been stretching it in between sets. I think I've almost got it stretched out. It's just tight. It's just. I have a great story about stretching, and I'll have to save it for later. It's going to take me a while to go through that story. Okay, 2 more sets of this reverse grip over row. Wristwatch faces down, knees bent. I guess the back is, you want to bend at the waist a little bit. Give yourself a little angle here with your knees and your back, and row for 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, I have these 1 pound weights. They're wonderful. It's better than not having any weight because you actually have a feel for something. It's nice to have like a little weight to feel. They're just there almost for decoration, but it does give you a little feel. So I'm glad I'm going light today because there's a lot of things that are out of whack. I have one of the problems of being away and not away, but on vacation from this is that I was getting about maybe more than 2 hours a week of stretching that went away. So for 3 weeks, that's 6 hours of stretching that I missed. I just needed a vacation, but I really should have done the stretching. One of the reasons I'm doing this thing, this dadbodwithjc thing, is because if I don't set up the camera and all that, I'm not going to do all this exercise. I just don't see it. I thought about getting a personal trainer, and they're pretty expensive, and I'm like, I don't want to pay that much money if I'll have to do this exercise and someone just criticizes me for not exercising. All right, let's see what's got. Something's up. Yeah, yeah. Um, as part of the triathlon training, I was swimming. I was swimming. I was doing some swimming in the laps. I'm a terrible swimmer. I'm not a very good swimmer. Um, and but yeah, I do swim, and it's not my thing. Tennis is my thing. Bicycling, I enjoy. It's not exactly my thing either. Running, I enjoy, but it's not entirely my thing. It turns out that tennis is my thing. Tennis, I row actually. I used to row in college, and I like rowing. It's similar to tennis. Tennis is this, rowing is this. So I'll do the last over reverse grip row while I talk about this. So I'm going to do 12. I won't count this time. So yeah. I do like to swim. I do like to swim, but I don't know if I like to swim enough to train for the triathlon as much as I should. So the triathlon's a little tricky swimming too because it's usually in open water. So there's a little waves that splash at you. There's dozens of people that surround you. So you really got to be comfortable in the water to go for the triathlon type swimming. But yeah, I enjoy a good swim now and then. Tell me about your swimming. All right, here we go. Okay, so that's it for my reverse grip over row. Dumbbell row. Okay, so I have a dumbbell row now next. One arm at a time. So 8. So I'm going to do that with a slightly heavier weights. I'm supposed to lean on a chair, but since I'm doing it with a lightweight, I don't think I'm going to need to lean on a chair. So for the dumbbell row, I'm going to split my legs. Front leg is bent. Back leg is straight for the most part, maybe a little bent. I'm just going to row my dumbbell 8 times. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching sides. I'm going to do 4 sets of these. So it's halfway through the first set here. 8, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One set. 3 more to go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's 2 sets. So instead of counting, I'll keep talking. I like to talk, if you can't tell. So, let's see. What was I going to talk about? Oh, I should start on that story about stretching. Okay, so I'd been having troubles with some of my stretches, specifically my legs. So that should be about 8. So I would get in here and do some stretching. Basically, you just have my legs straight and bend at the waist and try to bring my chest towards my hips or something like that, or chest towards my knees or something like that. And I wasn't getting anywhere. So not too far from where I live here, a new shop opened up called the Stretch. I think they call it Stretch Zone. There's the word stretch is in their name, and all they do is stretch people. That's like their thing. And they were offering a free session, and I'm like, well, it's like the old saying, if it's free, it's for me. So I'll do 1 session for free, and that should be about 8. So that's 3 sets. I got 1 more set to go, and the fella, he was really good at this stretching thing. You know, they have to be certified or something, I guess. And he told me the hamstrings. There's actually, I didn't know about this. I should research more online, but I'm just gonna take him for his word. Apparently, the hamstrings are a real deal. There's 3 strings right there. one on the outside, one in the middle, and one on the inside. My outside and my middle hamstrings were nice and loose, so I could stretch pretty good. My middle one was awful. My middle one was just terrible. And I'm like, and a light bulb goes off on me. It's like, no wonder I can't do the stretching. I've been having all this trouble with all the stretching, right? And I kind of go at it. So I'm going to do this upright row. This is the last set of the dumbbell rows upright. So eight of these. So the guy tells me, yeah, your inner hamstring, both sides, they need they're like super tight. And then I asked him, I was like, so how do I stretch them? Like, I really want to stretch them. I didn't tell him that I do these stretching sessions twice a week. And once a week, typically, at least once a week, I focus on my hamstrings, specifically on my hamstrings. And so I'd been tenderizing my hamstrings, the middle and the outer hamstrings, for months at this point. This is fairly recent, like 2-3 weeks ago that I went to see this guy. And so I'd been doing a pretty decent job of stretching out my 2 of the 3 hamstrings. And what he told me, I'll have to explain once I finish off this last set. But what he told me was that basically you have to bring your toes towards the middle if you want the inner hamstring stretched. You have to bring your toes towards the middle, or towards the inside, right? And then I'm thinking about all the stretching I've been doing. I've never done that. Never, ever done that. And it's just mind-blowing that, this is a nice free service that these folks are providing. It's just a 1-hour session, and they gave me a little diagnosis of like what I'm stretching right, what's stretching pretty flexible and what's not. And had I never gone to that session, I wouldn't have known. To this moment, I'd be like, oh, I don't know what's going on with my hamstrings, why they're so tight, and that's what it is. And I'll just talk more about it when I do my hamstring stretching in another session. All right. So that's it for the dumbbell rows. Coming into the shoulder presses, I am going light today, so I'm going to do the shoulder presses with these light weights. So I'm going to do 3 sets and 8 reps per set. So the shoulder press starts with the elbows straight out, the palms kind of facing forward, and pressing up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I got 2 more sets of this coming up. So, I lost my mic. Yeah, 2 more sets of that coming up. I never put on this mic right. All right, here we go. Second set of shoulder presses right here. Going up for 8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah. The sessions are a little expensive. I think I would have gone to the sessions, but they're a little bit more expensive than I want to budget for. It's like $30 or $50 a pop, I forget, somewhere in that neighborhood, like 30, 40, $50 a session. It's a 30-minute session. And while I could benefit from that, the one thing I really needed from that is like first of all, I didn't know I had 3 hamstrings. Of course, if they're all hamstrings, that you would expect, hey, there's several hamstrings. I didn't know. There's an inner apparently I was stretching my outer hamstrings just fine, because when I stretch, I always had my feet out to the side. And now I'm going to focus on bringing rotating my feet inwards, like pigeon-toed, and that solves everything. I've already done 1 session with my my feet pigeon-toed and stretching. it hurt my hamstrings, those inner hamstrings that he's talking about. It hurt them for 2, maybe 3 days. So that was a few days ago. I think I can do that. Afterwards, I think I'm going to do it again. I got one more set of this shoulder press to go. 8, 7, 6. So it hurt bad. I think I did it, about 4 or 5 days ago. So it's time for another round of that. And yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm probably going to do it after the session. I mean, this is my arm and chest session, so I'm not going to include it in this. But I need to do that because it really made a huge difference. I stretched it. I stretch it with my feet pigeon-toed, and my hamstrings just went like, if there was a scream sound associated with the hamstring stretches, the scream sound would have been a 10 out of 10. Like, it was just out of this world. And that's probably why I had been having my feet point out when I was stretching, because it felt comfortable. It was easy to stretch that. I point them in, and they're tight. They were tight. I stretched them out, but they hurt for days. They're no longer hurting, so I'm gonna stretch them out some more. It'll probably hurt not quite as bad as that first day. I think I'll do 3. I'll do one more. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going light today. I'm out of sorts. I'm out of rhythm. And if you don't know what you're doing and you're out of sorts, my shoulder, my dominant shoulder, my tennis shoulder, is absolutely tight. I'm working out the kinks, but it's tight. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that my inner hamstring will scream at me, but that's just how it's going to be. Next guy is a Arnold press. So it's a lot like the shoulder. The shoulder press is right here. The Arnold press starts here and it shoots kind of straight up. Ends more or less where the shoulder press ends, but it starts in front of you instead of out to the side. So that was 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's one set. I got 2 more sets coming up. I'm supposed to be doing these with a chair, but I'm doing with a light day like this with the light weights. I don't need a chair. So 2 more sets of Arnold press. The hands are pointing at your face, basically. Your palms are your hands pointing at your face. Going out for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, I think my hamstrings, my inner hamstrings here are going to be screaming at me here. After I cut off the recording, I'm gonna have to do that, because the really great thing was the guy told me, yeah, your middle hamstring and your outside hamstrings, they're both great. Those middle ones are terrible. I was like, if he wasn't a stretching expert, I don't know. I don't know what to say. First of all, I never thought there was such a thing as a stretching expert, but apparently there is. And second of all, it made a ton of sense after he explained to me how it all works. Okay, one more set of this Arnold press. But I mean, I just don't know where I'd be without a stretching expert at this point. It's like my hamstrings would just hurt. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. That's it. Dumbbell Fly is coming up next. So most of the rest of these are going to be on my back. For the Dumbbell Fly, there's 3 sets of 8. I should take some water. For the Dumbbell Fly, I'll use this 5-pound weight. All right. 3 sets of 8 Dumbbell Fly. I'm just going to lay down on my back and fly away. Sounds like the dryer's done. So won't be getting too much noise out of here. I need to open that door so my arms can spread out for the fly. Okay, here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So yeah, I'm still obsessing about the inner hamstring, outer hamstring thing, middle hamstring. Like I said, I haven't looked online to see if online says that that's all this is true, but I'm assuming that stretching expert was on the level because everything he told me was exactly what I was doing, because I was not stretching with my feet in towards the middle. I was stretching with my feet this way. I didn't think it made a difference. Apparently it makes a huge difference. All right, second set, dumbbell flies. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set coming up. I'll take a couple breaths of air and finish up that last set of the dumbbell flies. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. So yeah, I guess there's two takeaways from the stuff I've been talking about today. The two takeaways is I never thought I'd be eating this much protein. Ever. Never in my whole life. I didn't realize someone could eat this much protein. It's like every meal, the main portion is protein. I just didn't think I was gonna do that. And that seems to be working. I mean, every indication is it's working great, actually. The other thing was that whole inner hamstring thing. Who knew? I have to Google it still. All right, dumbbell fly, that was done. Dumbbell pullover, arms extended above the chest, slowly lower it above your head. I'm going to use the 3-pound weights for that. I like going light on that. Yeah, I'll go light on that. Yeah, today's a light weight day. Getting back into this swing of things. So same thing, 3 sets of 8. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, just relax for a few seconds. Take some air in. One more set of air. And 8 more. Dumbbell pullovers, they're called. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. One more set of the dumbbell pullovers. Here we go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's it. That's it for that. Let's see how we're doing on time. Doing okay for time, I think. 2 more sets of exercise. Lying tricep extensions are known as skull crushers. I'll use the 5-pound weights. My triceps, because of the tennis, the triceps are a little stronger than pretty much anything else on me. So the 5-pound weights should to be fine for me. So there's skull crushers. So the skull crushers pretty much start in the same position, but instead of going sideways, they go up and down like this, and then they come down right next to your skull. I'm not going to aim it to my skull because I don't actually want to crush the skull. So I'm going to do a set of 8. So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. That's one set. Second set coming in. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That was the second set. Taking a deep breath. And third set. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that was the 3 sets of skull crushers. One more exercise before I get ready to sign off. The triceps bench press. So for that, the palms are going to face each other over the chest and then push up. It's kind of like a little push up like this, only I'll be leaning back. And for that, I'll use the 5-pound weights. And that should be that. So palms facing each other. And down to the chest. And up for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's one set. Taking a deep breath. Second set coming up. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Taking a breath. And next set. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that's it. As I sign off, I usually, I always do a, what's it called? Just a forward fold. But before that, I'm JC. This has been Dad Bod with JC. Thanks for joining, and finish off with a forward fold here. Starting with the bending with the legs, stretching the back of the calves, the back of the hamstrings, bending at the hips, stretching the lower back, the upper back, through the shoulders, through the arms, through the neck, through the head, top of the head. Relax, pointing towards the ground. And back up. Thanks for joining. We'll see you next time.